Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is June 19th, 2023. It's on Monday and sunny outside. How are you spending Monday? Are you tired? Are you also tired today? I think many people don't like Monday because it is the first day of the week and the other 4 days are waiting for us. Are you already waiting for the weekend? Weekend holidays? But some people have a day off on Monday. It depends on your working or school schedule. When it comes to buying something product, maybe many people will buy a product produced by a well-known company because it is more reliable, right? If you buy a product produced by a not well-known company, you might be careful. You might be scared because there is no information about it. The candidate is well known for the locals here, but he is not famous in other prefectures. Do you like to read a fiction story? Is the TV program fiction or non-fiction? I didn't realize it was a fiction story. The story seemed real, very realistic. Fiction story. Are you good at making up a fiction story? Some people are good at making up fiction story. Some people are good at making fiction. Some people are good at making fiction as an excuse to get away with something. Is the story fictional or real? Is the story fictional or real? Fictional. Is what you said fictional or real? Is what you said fictional or real? Fictional. Is what you said fictional or real? Fictional. AI can produce a fictional character which resembles a real one. So I cannot tell apart the real human from the one produced by AI. They are very similar to each other. They look very similar. And the characters produced by AI look so similar to the real one. So I cannot tell. I cannot tell the difference. Fictional world is often depicted in movie. Fictional world is often depicted in a movie. Fictional worlds are often depicted in movies. Fictional world is often depicted in a movie. Fictional world is often depicted in movies. The character, the fictional character produced by AI really resembles the real one, so I cannot tell apart. The fictional character produced by AI looks so close to us, so I cannot tell the difference. The fictional character produced by AI so resemble us, so I cannot tell apart. I cannot tell the real one from the AI produced one. The fictional character produced by AI resembles real ones, so I cannot tell apart between them. The fictional characters produced by AI really resemble real ones, so I cannot tell the real humans from the ones produced by AI. Fictional hero, fictional heroine, fictional world, fictional movie. Fictional character only existing in the animation. Fictional character, fictional super techniques, fictional skills only obtained by the hero in the movie. Fictional charge was made by the scamming company. Fictional charge, fictional bill created by the fraudulent company. Fictional. Fictional. Fictional character only existing in the animation. Fictional character only existing in the movie. Fictional world only existing in the movie. Fictional story for the movie. Today we are talking about the theme of music. If you deviate from the theme, you will be forced to go out. Please bear that in mind. Please keep that in mind. I'd like to know the techniques or strategies, how you could overcome difficulties. All of us are definitely faced with difficulties, predicaments, hardships, mayhem, chaos at some point in our lives. So I'd like to ask each of you how you overcome such difficulties. I was really helped by music and famous phrases by famous high-profile figures when I came across difficulties, when I run into difficulties. Such phrases from the famous figures and music really healed my depression. I'm sure you can overcome too. I'm sure you can overcome too. The more you have the experience, the more you can, the more the possibility that you can overcome will increase. The more I had experiences, the better I came to overcome difficulties. The more I had experiences in various fields, the more I came to overcome. The more I came to be able to overcome more things. The more I had experienced, the more I had experiences in various fields, the more I got to be able to overcome more things. Overcome. I think you can overcome, so do your best. Overcome. It usually takes much longer than average people for me to overcome. It is said that we can think the most, we can think the deepest when we are alone. It is said that we can think the deepest when we are loneliness, when we are in loneliness. When we are in loneliness, we tend to think everything pessimistically when we are in loneliness. We are inclined to be pessimistic when we are in loneliness. Internet is a tool to confuse my loneliness. Internet is one of the tools to confuse my loneliness. Whenever I feel lonely, I tend to send a message to my friends. Whenever I feel lonely, I tend to send message to my friends. It took me about 3 months to recover from the despair after the breakup with my GF girlfriend. It took me over 3 months to recover from the despair of breaking up with the girlfriend. How soon can you recover from the despair once you get into that? Once you get into depression or despair, how soon can you recover and get up, stand up? Once you get into despair or depression or something like that, how soon can you get up? How soon can you stand up? How soon can you recover from that? Despair, 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 despair. Once I get into despair, it usually takes much longer than average for me to recover, stand up. Despair. I also don't wanna feel despair. I wanna escape from despair as possible as I can. Despair. We will face with despair at some point in our life. Maybe this is inevitable. No other way to escape from despair, I think. We will be confronted with despair at some point in our life, which is our life. Escaping from meeting despair will be impossible. We will definitely be faced with despair. As soon as I knew the result of my examination, I despaired. As soon as I found my failure on the examination announcement, I despaired. On knowing the examination result from the result announcement on the board, released on the premises of the university, I despaired. On knowing that my number was not there on the board set up on the premises of the school, university, I despaired. On knowing that my number was not on the board set up set up in the premises of the university, I despaired. I have recovered from despair many times, which made me what I am now. We've been recovering from despair many times, which is making us stronger and what we are now. We have been recovering, overcoming despair many times, which are making us approach adult. When we are in childhood, we will be faced with many difficulties in many fields, including despair, which are making us approach becoming adult, which make us approach adult, becoming adult. Could you tell us about one of the 3 of the worst despairs you have ever experienced? I think your fans want to hear about that. Could you tell us 2 or 3 of the worst despairs you have ever experienced? I remember my teacher stepped up to me and consult my sad spirit when I was despairing after the failure in the examination. I remember my teacher walking towards me in the classroom and consult my sad spirit after while I was despairing in the classroom because of the failure in the examination. When I was despairing after the failure in the examination, my friends cheered me up and told me to try it again on the second examination of the university. I still had a chance. I wish I could mesmerize the audiences as good as you. I wish I could mesmerize the audiences as good as you, as well as you. I remember listening to the lecture in the front seat all the time, because even if I was late for the lecture, the front seats were available all the time. When it comes to a concert, the front seats are usually expensive, so I wondered why many students in the university, or maybe others too, prefer to sit in the back seats, latter seats. I know the reason though. One of the reasons is that they are afraid of being asked a question, especially difficult questions. They are very shy to answer such questions because they want to escape from making a mistake. So to avoid such difficult questions, they tend to sit in the back seats. Maybe some of them want to sleep during the lecture in the back seat. Sitting in the back seat, not notable from the teacher because it's far from the front. The auditorium in the university is so huge. The auditorium of the university is so huge, so there are some monitors at some point so that everyone can see what the professor is writing on the board. the auditorium is so huge, so there are some monitors at some points in the auditorium, so that every student can write down what the professor is writing on the board. Auditorium, 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 auditorium. How many seats are there in the auditorium? Since when I was searching for the ticket for the concert, most of the seats were occupied by other guests, so only left back edge seat in the auditorium was available. I really wanted to see the concert, so I chose to buy the worst seat. Auditorium, auditorium, built in very long time ago. Auditorium, 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 auditorium. Very huge auditorium. And since the auditorium was so huge, so I was recommended to buy a telescope to see the musicians from the place where I was sitting. And since the auditorium was so huge, so my seats were the latter part of the auditorium, so I was recommended to buy a telescope to see the musicians well from the distance. My seats in the auditorium was located in the back. In the latter, so I was recommended to buy a telescope to see the musicians well from a distance. When it comes to buying a product or getting service, maybe you will choose the renowned company or store because they have long years of services which are creating the reliability. When it comes to buying a product or getting service, maybe you will choose a renowned company or a shop because they are more reliable, right? They have many years of experience in services. But from my point of view, from my standpoint, if it is very reasonable, maybe I choose the product produced by an identified company, not a renowned company. By taking a chance, yes, by running a risk of frauds in it, defect in it. Kyoto is renowned for Japanese traditional houses. Kyoto is renowned for long history. Kyoto is renowned for the place where many traditional buildings still exist. Do you want to gain renown? Do you want to gain renown? Do you want to gain renown? Do you want to achieve renown? Gain renown, achieve renown. It is said after earning a lot of money, enough money, people want to gain enough renown. People want to gain renown. People want to achieve renown. They say after earning enough money, they are inclined to want to gain renown. It is said after earning enough money, they are apt to want to gain renown. It is said that after earning enough money, they are apt to want to earn renown, gain renown, achieve renown, gain renown. Everyone has a chance to gain renown at some point in our life. Maybe you might invent something very essential to our life. Maybe you might invent medicine which help many people suffering from the disease. Maybe you might invent medicine which will help a number of patients suffering from a certain kind of disease. Renown. Everyone has a chance to gain renown. Everyone has a chance or many chances to achieve renown. Or you might not have interest in gaining renown. You might not have the interest in achieving renown. The ordinary person gain popularity and renown by helping the elderly person crossing the walkway. It was imminent. The elderly person was on the verge of being run over the car, but he helped it. Renown. Renown. Why do you want to gain renown? Why do you want to achieve renown? Why do you want to gain popularity? Social networking service is a good way to gain popularity and advertise yourself, broadcast yourself. Renown. Renown. What is the definition of renown? The huge renown made by accomplishments, kindness, and so on can soon collapse by a corruption. So please do not spoil the renown made by you by such a subtle thing, which is very wasting. The renown made by a lot of effort by someone can collapse soon by corruption. So do not spoil your renown by such a trivial thing. Renown. The long length of service will be one of the criteria for the renown. Long stable service without any mistake will be one of the criteria evaluated as renown. There are many stories under the creation of the renown of the person. Renown. How dare you could spend such amount of money on gambling without hesitation? I would have definitely hesitated if I were you. If I were you, I would have definitely hesitated to spend such amount of money on gambling. How dare you could spend 5 million yen on the gambling? If you are really into the field, you would choose that without hesitation at all. And that you cannot make a decision yet means you are not really into that. So you had better skip. You had better choose another way. You had better choose another field. Try to find the field that you can be really into. Your instinct will show you. Your instinct will answer you. Your instinct will answer you. I'm sure many employees are working for a company with a lot of hesitations. They have some reason behind it. Well, they are forced, they are compelled to do, they are obliged to do. Hesitation. The employee is renowned for accepting all of the job offers, all of the orders from his boss without hesitation at all. My hesitation to accept the job offer was obvious from the expression on my face. My hesitation to accept the offer was obvious on my expression. The hesitation to accept the offer was obvious from her expression of frowning. Don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to talk to me if you want to talk in Japanese. Don't hesitate to talk to me. Don't hesitate to join the conversation. Don't hesitate to join the party. Don't hesitate to challenge. Don't hesitate to go out. Don't hesitate to sing in public. Don't hesitate to talk to me. Don't hesitate to ask a question. Don't hesitate to ask me a question. Don't hesitate to ask a question. 24 hours, 27, around the clock. We are available 24 hours. Although many companies adapt from morning to night business hours, we are available 24 hours. So don't hesitate to call us. Don't hesitate to message us. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. We will reply you within 24 hours. It will take maybe 2 centuries for me to skillfully play the piano, or never. 100 years would be very short for me to be able to play the musical instrument skillfully. Don't let fraudulent people skillfully deceive you. Don't let scammers skillfully deceive you. Don't let scammers skillfully deceive you. Don't let scammers skillfully deceive you. Scammers will try to skillfully deceive you with a lot of strategic phrases, sentences, and so on. So please be careful. Skill-free, 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 skill-free. I wish I could play the piano skillfully. I wish I could play the piano as well as you. I wish I could play the musical instrument as skillfully as you. If only I could play the musical instrument as skillfully as you. If only I could play the musical instrument as skillfully as you. I wish I could play the violin as skillfully as you. Skillfully. I wish I could play the musical instrument as skillfully as you. Skillfully, 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 skillfully. I know better than to be deceived skillfully by scammers. I know better than to be skillfully deceived by scammers. I know better than to be deceived skillfully by the scammers. I know better than to be skillfully deceived by the scammers. I know better than to be deceived by the scammers skillfully. I wish I were skillful at playing the piano as well as you. I wish I were adept at playing the piano as skillfully as you. I wish I were skillful at playing the violin as well as you. I wish I were adept at playing the violin as well as you. Skillful. Proficient at playing the guitar. Many people out there are proficient at playing the guitar, enough to make me cry. And some people are skillful at making up fiction story. And some people are skillful at fabricate fictions in order to get away with a crime or lie. And some people are good at, skillful at, proficient at provocating, fabricate, making up fake stories in order to get away with lies. Skillful. Okay, I will introduce a skillful person to you. She knows a lot about semiconductor. As far as semiconductor is concerned, no one is go beyond her. I will introduce a skillful person who is trained in the same course as you have taken recently, and she is now in charge of training new employees. She will be she will be answering any questions from you, and she's very nice. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask her. How soon can I be skillful at operating the machine? Maybe 3 months? It depends on the ability of yours, but on average it will take about 3 months. And you can be skillful at operating the machine. But after becoming skillful at operating the machine, there are many more things you have to memorize, okay? So first you have to be skillful at operating the machine in 3 months. And you need to still learn to develop your skill more and more. Skillful, 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 skillful. Skillful, skillful, skillful. I wish I were skillful at playing the guitar as well as you. I wish I were skillful at playing the guitar as well as you. I wish I were skillful at driving a car, even in narrow spaces, as well as you. I wish I could have such strong confidence to drive in narrow spaces. Some people are skillful at fabricating fake stories. Some people are skillful at fabricating a fake story. Fictions. Some people are skillful at fabricating fictions. You need a special skill to operate the machine. You need a special skill and permission to operate the machine. You need to pass the practical test 6 times in a row. If you fail once, you have to start from the scratch. And for example, if you passed 5 times and fail in the 6th round, you have to start from the scratch from the first round, okay? So you have, in order to get the skill and permission to operate the machine on your own, you have to pass the practical test 6 times in a row. If you, for instance, if you pass 5 times in a row, but you fail in the 6th round, you have to start from the scratch, from the first round. The things I regard incredible might not be incredible for you. The things you regard, view, see incredible might not be incredible for me. Incredible. Incredible things are happening now with the development of technologies. Incredible things are happening. The things we find normal now must be incredible for those living in maybe 200 years ago. I wonder how the people used to live in about 200 years ago think and react to the recent new technologies if they saw it. I wonder how the people maybe 200 years ago would react to new technologies now, current new technologies or people. I always wonder how the people used to live about 200 or 300 years ago would react to the current new technologies, which might be incredible. 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 Spending 10,000 million yen on the gambling is incredible for me. Incredibility, 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 incredibility. Entering a restaurant alone is not an incredibility for me. Entering a restaurant is not an incredibility for me. Not an incredibility for me. Incredibility, 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 incredibility. Getting over 900 on TOEIC score might be incredibility for some people. The journey to the outer space is still incredibility for many people, including me, but it might be common in the future. Traveling to the outer space is an incredibility for some people, or many people right now, as of now, but it might be common in the future with the development of new technologies, and the prices for us to travel to the outer space will be more moderate in the future. Now only a few people with enough money can go. Incredibility, 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 incredibility. Incredibilities are happening now. Incredibilities are happening now. The things we find normal now must be incredibilities for those used to live 200 or 300 years ago. The things we regard normal now would be incredibilities for people used to live in about 300 or 400 years ago. Incredibility. Going abroad alone is not an incredibility for me. Going abroad alone might be, maybe could be incredibility for some people. Going abroad alone is anything but incredibility for me. Going abroad alone is far from incredibility for me. Going abroad alone is far from incredibility for me. Going abroad alone is anything but incredibility for me. In the train, you might be asked to show the train ticket inside by the conductor. It depends, case by case, but usually they don't. In the train, you might be asked to show the train ticket by the conductor inside. Conductor. The conductor appeared on the stage and bowed to the audience once before starting the piece. Concerto. The conductor stepped out to the podium and bowed with a smile to the audience before facing the orchestra. The conductor appeared and stepped up to the podium and smiled and bowed to the audience before turning to the orchestra and starting the piece. The conductor stepped up to the podium and bowed to the audience before turning to the orchestra and starting the piece. Conductor. What made you want to be a conductor? What made you want to be a conductor? Excuse me, how often do the conductor come? And I mean, I'd like to get my ticket stamped, just in case. I'd like to get my ticket stamped. I'd like to get my ticket stamped. I'd like to have my ticket stamped. Excuse me, I'd like to fix my laptop computer fixed. If it is expensive, more than expected, I would like to buy a new one and sell it. Conductor. I often confuse the position of Tottori with that of Shimane Prefecture. I often confuse the name and position of Aichi Prefecture and Ehime Prefecture. Conductor. Unique costume of conductor. Conductor. The conductor smiled at the orchestra members in order to perform good sound. The conductor smiled at both the audience and the orchestra. The conductor of the orchestra winked at the violinist as a sign that her sound was very good. Conductor. Conductor. Train conductor might come to us to check our tickets. In the train, we might be asked to show the train tickets by the conductor inside. Conductor. Orchestra conductor. I was not going to be a conductor, but there are many stories behind it why I became a conductor. The conductor stepped up to the podium and bowed to the audience before turning to the orchestra. Do you think my English level is stepping up? Do you think my English skill is stepping up or declining? No sooner had I stepped outside than it began to rain. Hardly had I stepped outside when it began to rain. I had hardly stepped outside when it began to rain. Scarcely had I stepped outside before it began to rain. I had scarcely stepped outside before it began to rain. It won't be long, the ambulance comes. It wasn't long before my name was called. It was not long that I got used to using smartphone. It won't be long before you are used to the operation of the machine. It won't be long before you are used to using the smartphone. A stranger stepped up to me and asked directions to the subway station. As soon as the torrential rain hit the region, all of the pedestrians stepped up to the places with Eve or shopping mall. Hardly had the torrential rain hit the region, when pedestrians rushed to the shopping mall. Hardly had the torrential rain started to rain when the pedestrians stepped up to the shopping mall. The torrential rain had hardly struck the region when the pedestrians stepped up to the subway station. Scarcely had the torrential rain started to rain before the pedestrians stepped up to the train station. No sooner had the torrential rain started to rain, the pedestrians and tourists stepped up to the train station to escape from the torrential rain. As soon as the torrential rain started to rain, the tourists stepped up to the train station, stepped up to the state train station, rushed to the train station, rushed to the train station. As soon as a junior student arrived at the classroom, every student stepped up to him to answer his to ask his question to ask him to ask him an answer of the homework. As soon as the junior student arrived at the classroom, many students stepped up to him to ask him an answer of the homework. Stepped up to the podium and bowed and smiled at the audience before facing the orchestra. At that time, I didn't realize why people were stepping up to the circle. But soon after, I realized there was a musical performance in the piazza, in the park. People were stepping up to the park where the musical festival was held. And everybody was stepping up to the park, like being absorbed into the sound of the musician in the park. Since everybody was stepping up to the park where the musical performance was being held, I also stepped up to the place to get a glimpse of the musician, to have a glimpse of the musician, to catch sight of the musician, get a glimpse of, catch a glimpse of, have a glimpse of, get a glimpse of, have a glimpse of, catch a glimpse of, catch sight of. Have you ever delivered a speech on the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech on the podium? At the podium. Usually, first, second, and third competitors are praised on the podium, and the height differs according to the ranking. It tends to be highest for the first rank, and second, third, respectively. Have you ever awarded a certificate at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech at the podium? Have you ever delivered a speech? Delivered a speech at the podium? The boxer can deliver awesome blow to the opponent. The boxer is being scared of many opponents because he can deliver an awesome blow enough to make opponents knocked down. The height of the podium usually differs from first, second, and third. The height tends to be the highest for the first and second, third, respectively. The height of the podium usually differs according to the ranking. The height tends to be the highest for the height of the first tends to be the highest, and second, third, respectively. Have you ever awarded an award? Have you ever been awarded a prize at the podium in front of classmates, all of the classmates, faculties? I wish I had the same faculty as you. I wish I could have a lot of faculties as you. I was evaluated well by all of the faculties except for one. Podium, 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 podium. Have you ever avoided the prize at the podium? Have you ever avoided the prize at the podium? No, but I was always the side to watch it. I was always the side to look at it, look that. I was always in the side to observe. I was always the side to observe the athletes getting the prize at the podium. I was always the side to observe the athletes being awarded the prize at the podium. I was always the side to observe the athletes being awarded the prize at the podium. I still remember made a speech at the podium for the first time. Although I prepared enough, I forgot everything due to the nervousness coming from the pressure of the audiences. Have you had the same experience? But the more I had experience to deliver speech at the podium, the more confident I could get. The more I had experiences to deliver speech at the podium in front of people, the more confident that I could get. The more confidence I could get. The higher you climb the mountain, the thinner and colder the temperature will be. I experienced that at Mount Fuji. Could you explain what is concerto is? Could you explain what concerto is? Have you ever been to a concerto concert? Have you ever been to a concerto in the Carnegie Hall? Have you ever been to the concerto in the Century Hall in Tokyo? I think investing ourselves will be the most efficient investment in the long run, because without health we cannot work on anything. So I think investing on our health will be the best and most efficient investment in the long run in every possible way. Do you think so? Do you agree with me? Do you agree to the reasoning? In the long run, traveling to the outer space will be more common and reasonable, I think, I guess, I suppose, I presume. I presume that traveling to the outer space will be more common and moderate in the long run. 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 Do you invest in stocks in the long run or in short terms? The strategy to earn money will differ according to your investment policy between short-term return or long-term return. I suppose investing our health is the most efficient investment in the long run. I guess investing on our health and ourselves is the best investment in every possible way. Because we cannot work on anything without health. So health comes first. Health comes first. Nothing is as important as health. Nothing is more important than health. Health is more important than any other thing. No other thing is as important as health. No other things are important than health. No other things are important than health. No mountain is higher than Mount Fuji in Japan. Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan. No other mountain is as high as Mount Fuji in Japan. I usually prepare too much for fear that I would fail. I prepare too much lest I should fail. I prepare too much in case I should fail, lest I should fail, for fear that I should fail. We will prepare for something, for fear that we would fail, so that we would fail, so that we wouldn't fail, so that we won't fail, in order that we won't fail. We usually prepare for something, prepare enough, for fear that we should fail, lest we should fail, in case that we should fail, so that we won't fail, in order that we won't fail. The interpretation of the situation by the reporter raised awareness of how important and necessary the aid was. The interpretation of the situation in the disaster-stricken area by the reporter raised awareness that the aid was imminent. Every employee in this department interprets him as a superhero who accepts everything asked by everybody. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!